Well, hello, all you beautiful people out there. Welcome to another episode of the Wealth and Wisdom Show with your host, Wendy, the Financial Lion. And here, our goal is to help you heal, grow, and thrive so you can be truly wealthy in every area of life mentally, emotionally, relationally, physically, and financially. Of course, I am the Financial Lion after all. And today, we have with us an amazing guest, Randy Rolfe, who has many accolades. I'll introduce her in just a minute. But first, here's the financial tip of the day. So, if you want to expand your career or your business, do so by setting SMART goals. And SMART is an acronym for, let me just tell you in 1 second: specific, measurable, achievable, relevant, and time-bound goals. So be smart, set some SMART goals. We're at the beginning of a new year, so now is the time to do just that. So without further ado, let me introduce Randy Rolfe, who is an internationally known speaker, educator, coach, and best-selling author of 9 books on nutrition, parenting, and family. Her latest book is called The Single Ingredient Diet. I love that. Transform your relationship to food in just 21 days. That's less than a month, boys and girls. We can do this. She has appeared on over 50 talk shows and hundreds of radio and podcast shows. Her background includes travel to 33 countries, a degree in international relations, a law degree and a corporate law practice in a prior life, certification in applied clinical nutrition, a master's degree in theology. If you live long enough, you get to do it all, right?
Right.
And a counseling practice in nutrition and parenting at the Institute for Creative Solutions, which she founded. For more than 50 years, and you'd never know it by looking at her, she has been dedicated to helping others have more control of their lives so that they can enjoy greater health, fulfillment, and happiness. Randy, thank you so much for being with us today.
Oh, my pleasure, Wendy. Thank you for inviting me.
Oh, you're so welcome. So, I really want to segue into this that in a prior life, you were an attorney. So tell us how you went from attorney to health guru. How did that come about?
Yes, well, I was very excited about making a difference in the world and creating more health but also more freedom and more peace. Because of all the traveling I did with my parents, especially, I was looking to have an impact on the world through being an international lawyer. But when I met my husband, I decided I couldn't be the wife and the mother I wanted to be if I
Um,
was jet setting around the world.
right.
So I, after law school, I was teaching myself to cook. And I realized there was so much confusing information out there. And my
Oh,
dad
yeah.
was a doctor.
Yeah.
And I thought, well, I got to learn how to stay healthy. I want to be married 100 years or at 55.
So you're the one. No, I'm
Um,
just kidding.
so, so I started teaching myself, and then my lawyer friends started asking me what I was learning from my studies. And I found I had so much fun telling them how to get through their next trial with a clear mind and without
Mhm.
any sleep. And it was just so much more fun teaching health. And then I thought, well, around the world, that is a big problem. If
Yes.
people were really feeling good, they wouldn't fight, you know?
Yeah. Oh, right.
So
Huh. That's a very good
so then
point. That's a,
I wrote my
yeah.
first book about parenting with a whole lot about nutrition because kids are so much easier to get along with if they're healthy.
Yeah.
So,
Oh, yeah.
not irritable, they do better in school and all of that.
Right.
So finally, after my first book went well, I did practice law a few more years, but then I did quit to just do more writing and teaching on nutrition.
Well, and it sounds like you love it so much more.
Yes, I do.
Yeah.
Well, it's good. It's nice to be a lawyer. I say that's a good place to be
Yeah.
from because you know your rights and you know you can have
Yes.
influence in the world. And I'm
Yes.
still working on changing the world, but through health.
Yes. Yes. Well, I was a legal secretary in another life, so I had the privilege of working with many really fine lawyers. I didn't have the privilege of hiring some great lawyers, but I had the privilege of working with some really, really good ones. But tell us more about health and, with RFK Jr. now in charge of the Health and Human Services, I think a lot of moms really woke up during COVID and saw what their kids were eating or what they're getting at school. And as RFK Jr. said, when he was a kid, there was no chronic illnesses, there was no chronic diseases. Autism was like 1 in 7,000 or something. Now it's 1 in 68 in the state of California. I mean, these health issues have really become a crisis.
Absolutely. Yes. It's
Yeah.
amazing. When in the 70s, when I started teaching, there were so many fewer problems. And it's
Yes.
not just because we're getting older and that these are all older people's problems. They're not. We're getting earlier and earlier. They
Yeah.
say now that 50% of children are diagnosed with some kind of chronic condition. That's
That's
ridiculous.
just, that's horrible. That's horrible. And I see on the St. Jude's commercials, the St. Jude's Hospital
Yes.
commercials, where these little babies are have cancer. How is this happening to our society?
Well, we're exposing ourselves to a ridiculous amount of toxins in our air, in our water, even in our clothes and our bedding and our curtains, and in our food. And we
Mm.
don't talk about food pollution, but that's what it is. There's so
Yeah.
many, there's heavy metals in the applesauce
Oh,
and
wow.
there's all kinds of and chemicals added to our food. In Europe, they allow 400 different additives. We allow over 2,000.
Oh,
And so we're loading our bodies with real toxins, and many of them are carcinogenic.
yeah.
And
Yeah.
then we also have the problem of over processing foods. So we're not getting the vitamins and minerals we need
Mm.
because they just add back a few
Yep.
that the government says should be there. But we're missing all the enzymes and the fresh things that come from foods that come from nature.
And our
And
soils
so,
are depleted too. So even if you're
yeah,
eating organic, if the soil's depleted, those fruits and vegetables don't have the same nutrients that they had, back in the 40s and 50s.
yes, I have a chart of, I say that Popeye, his spinach wouldn't do him the same good anymore.
Right.
If
Right.
you, if those who remember Popeye, but there's less iron in our spinach now.
Mm,
And even if it's organic, our soil has been seriously
yeah.
depleted.
Yeah. I know we don't let the land rest. It used to be
Right?
that you farmed for 6 years and you let the land rest the seventh year, right? And because of the demand, and of course, money makes the world go round, right? So God forbid you don't have a crop for a year. But it doesn't help us in the long run. It really would benefit us in the long run. But we live in an instant gratification society, so very few people really look down the long road on how this is truly going to affect us in the years,
Yes, I
the
think that made
decades
a
to come.
difference in my research of just wanting to find out how to tack healthy years onto my life and my husband's life and then my kids' life and then all my clients. And looking in the long view makes a real difference. And what surprised me
Hmm.
when I changed my diet to whole foods back in the 70s was that it did change things immediately. I wasn't just tacking on healthy years to the end of my life. I was changing my life right then and there. My hair got better, my skin got better. I didn't get colds anymore in the winter, and or they talk about flu season. Well, we never get flus or colds,
Yeah, yeah.
um,
I don't get
and
them either. I
yeah,
take vitamin D every day and a number of
yeah.
supplements and so forth. Now, do you supplement or do you just eat good food?
Oh, definitely. Have always used supplements,
Yeah.
definitely, because like you said, the soil is depleted
Hmm.
and we have so many toxins. Our detox system has to be excellent, even better than it was 2,000 years ago
Yes.
because of all the toxins. And
Yep.
then there's chronic stress. And we think of
True.
the cavemen being so stressed, but we have chronic stress and we have to hide it. We're not allowed to go climb a tree or shoot an enemy. We have to just live with this chronic
Mm.
stress, and the poor diet is a stress in itself.
Well,
So we've got multiple stresses.
and I believe because I was also a nutritionist in another life. If you live long enough, you get to do everything, right? But
Right.
I really believe that stress, because disease simply means to be not at ease in your body. I
Hmm.
believe that stress causes all disease. And with you saying that we live chronically stressed, if your heart is at peace, your heart has its own mind in a way. And if your heart is at
Hmm.
peace, it tells the rest of your body we're healthy. That was my mom who lived to be 96. She, at all costs, she kept her heart at peace. And she didn't have any chronic issues, even at the age of 96. No chronic health issues, nothing. Her mind was sharp. The only reason she passed away is because she went in to have some gallstones removed, and then they put her under general anesthesia the next day and removed her gallbladder. Well, who puts a 96-year-old under general anesthesia back to back? Just crazy. So she might still be with us today. Who knows? But she
Yeah.
was ready. She was like, how much longer do I have to live? Because she was in such good health. But go ahead and tell us about, and would you mind sharing with the audience how old you are?
Oh, I'm 77.
Yeah. So talk about a living, walking testament to, I love it when, you're your own best advertisement for what you do on a daily basis with your eating and your supplements and so forth. I mean, you look amazing. You look amazing.
Oh,
And I
thank
understand
you.
your
Thank
husband's
you.
quite happy too because you have him eating the same way and he's just as healthy.
Yeah, and he thanks me often. Yes, that's a funny story. When I was 22, my first job was at a TV station in Richmond, Virginia. And I said, well, this is the way we should be eating. I'm really healthy. I don't have any problems. And they said, you're 22. Of course you have no problems. And I said, you wait till I'm 40.
Yeah,
You'll listen to me.
right, right,
Well, even
right.
when I was 40, they didn't listen to me because they thought I was 25. So maybe they'll listen to me now, right?
Right. Yeah, maybe that's what you had to do is just get older and be the walking testimony that you are. So people would listen, right?
Yes, it's a funny world.
It is. So
But
tell me what kind of whole foods you eat. Share with the audience what your typical day looks like food wise.
yeah, well, I think it's really important to look back. And traveling all over the world, I saw all the different cuisines, and my parents were a doctor and a sociologist, but they were really both anthropologists at heart. And so we studied other cultures. And one of the amazing things about humans are that we're omnivores, and we eat whatever's edible in
Hmm.
our environment. And that's
Hmm.
how we started. And we've been able to populate the entire world because we can eat anything that's edible.
Right.
And it's taken human tradition to figure out what's edible. So that's an introduction to the fact that I'll eat anything that's edible and prepared in traditional ways, because modern processing has changed the way things are, and our
Yeah.
bodies have not adjusted in the last 50 years to be
Which is
able to
why we see all
handle
the chronic illnesses that
nonsense.
we do, because our bodies are like, this isn't good for me. Please
Right,
don't put this in me
exactly.
anymore. Yeah.
But again, we're so amazing that we try to adjust. So we
Hmm.
kind of stay alive pretty well, but we're low on energy. We don't sleep well. We have bad digestion. We start thinking, oh, I can't eat this. I can't eat that. My body doesn't like this. My body doesn't like that. Well, that's because your gut, your whole digestive system is irritated and stressed. And
Yeah.
like you said about the heart having being at ease, every cell has to be at ease. And we're
Mm.
learning about epigenetics, that your state of mind changes what genes are actually activated, because you're more alkaline, less acid when you're not under stress,
Yes.
and that makes different things activate at the cellular level.
Yeah.
So
Hmm.
so what I eat daily is I eat a hearty breakfast, and we have a medium-sized dinner and a small lunch, because that's the way modern days go.
Hmm.
But we basically eat everything. We're not worried about natural fat. We avoid artificially refined fats, the seed oils,
Hmm.
which are very dangerous. They're almost as bad as sugar. Some people say worse. We eat minimal sugar. We'll have some of those wonderful organic dates if we want a dessert. And I'll make a pie maybe once a month. I love pies, all from organic whole foods. And so I post little um, reels about our diet, our dinners up on Instagram.
Oh, very
And
good. So where can
yeah,
people find you on Instagram?
it's Randy Rolfe 88. I don't know why I chose that.
Okay. Well, 88 is double prosperity, right? 80 is the number of prosperity.
Yes.
So I can see the 88. Yes. So
So,
it's
so
spelled
yeah,
last
so
name
so like this
Rolfe,
morning, yeah,
just so people know
yes,
where they can
and
find
Randy with a Y, because
you.
I'm too old to have the I. The eyes came in later.
Yeah.
So, yeah, so we eat eggs about probably th 5 out of 7 days, and oatmeal is often in between, and we have organic bacon once a week for breakfast, and then we'll eat fish or chicken for dinner, and
And I take it it's all free range and grass
yes, yes,
fed
and
and no antibiotics, no growth hormones. That's one
exactly.
reason that America is just getting so obese. They feed these chickens growth hormones and then we eat the chicken. Well, of
Yes,
course, and
and
we're not
the
growing
animals.
vertically, we're growing horizontally, and that is the problem because then that leads to diabetes and obesity and all the other health issues that come with that. So, yeah, it's just a vicious circle.
And we've been fed a lot of misinformation because even heart disease is mainly caused from too much sugar in refined flours, because the changes in sugar, the changes in blood sugar affect the artery walls, and when they get weak, then things get through them, which
Yes.
causes allergies and immune problems.
Yep.
But meanwhile, the cholesterol and calcium stick against these injured artery walls and cause the plaque.
Hmm.
And that can build
And
into
it's the
heart
arterial
disease. So
plaque
it's not
buildup.
fat.
Yep.
I always want to say that it's not natural fat, but they loved changing us to polyunsaturated fat because it's so much cheaper and you can do so much more with it
Hmm.
in the processed foods.
Hmm.
So they're still trying to discourage us, even though the science is completely against it, that animal fats are bad. But eggs are good, cheese is good, whole cheese, organic cheese from grass-fed cows
Yes.
will be delicious. And
Yeah.
that's why European cheeses are often so much better because they have more regulations about how healthy the cows are. So
Yes.
you can't get healthy food from sick animals,
No, you
and
can't.
most of our animals are sick. So you really do have to choose your sources carefully.
Yes.
And
Yeah.
your farmed fish is filled with even the salmon is actually artificially colored because the way they feed it's not pink anymore.
Ah,
So so you want sustainably caught wild fish. And
hmm.
in some stores, the wild fish is less expensive than the farm fish because they're trying to make us all feel guilty. We would do better with farm fish. But no, if we maintain our oceans properly, we'll do much better for the
Yeah.
fish and for us
Yeah. Yeah.
if we um, have them as nature creates them.
Yes, and you really have to read the labels and where the fish is caught and how much mercury is in the fish because they were recommending don't eat salmon more than once a week because you might have too much mercury in you.
Well, there's a footnote there. Um, Most mercury in the ocean is from dental offices. So make sure your
What?
dentist is not using mercury in your fillings.
Oh,
It's
yeah.
mostly from mercury in the dental fillings. I had all my mercury uh,
All the silver. Yeah,
fillings
I did the very
removed
same
about
thing. Yeah, I
30
was just
years
like, get
ago.
this stuff out of my mouth and give me
Yeah, I could
ceramic
I
fillings.
could
Yeah.
feel it when the last one came out. I'm like, oh, thank you. That feels so different. And I didn't even know. People don't realize there's
Yeah.
stress in their mouth from mercury that's
Right.
in there.
Right.
So it's everywhere. It's really, you do have to read a lot. Read my book.
Yes. Yes.
Um, so it's there's just so much. coming at us, that we do need to be educated and discerning. And the more you eat properly, the more clear your mind is and the easier it is to be
Hmm.
discerning.
Yes.
And you can find the good food. And
Right.
I didn't finish. We eat lots and lots of vegetables, lots of salads, lots of vegetable soups. We often have vegetarian meals where we don't have any meat or fish. I had a book of Indian cooking for when I had the kids, and we went through all of that. So we do a lot of bean dishes, but always lots of vegetables. And also, as there's no society that has lived generation after generation and been purely vegan. So that's a scary thing to try to do that. Most communities that do that are um, dedicated not to having children, like monks or nuns.
Really? I
Um,
never
there's
knew that.
there's no vegan really culture on the planet that has
Really?
had generation after generation. There's no way to do it. Um,
Huh. I've never heard that
yeah,
before. I have a sister-in-law
yeah.
that's vegan and they do have a son. But
Yes, that's fine.
yeah,
I mean,
yeah.
I'm not saying people can't be vegan right now, but it's not the healthiest diet for humans. We are supposed to be omnivores, and today it's very hard to get everything from just a vegan because we don't have a lot of the vegetable things, the
Yeah.
vegetable variety
Yeah.
that
Yeah.
they have in the middle of Africa or in the Amazon or in the high
Hmm.
mountains in China. We just don't have that variety available to us in America.
Well, and again, the soil's depleted, so you're not getting the nutrients from the vegetables anyway. So we do have to
Right,
supplement and support
right.
that.
And I certainly understand the idea of being more vegetarian because the animals are so abused.
Yeah.
But if we would just use the healthy animals that are being properly treated, and there's a lot that shows that herding animals can desertify our planet because they can refertilize the fields, and there's farmers that are doing that all over the world, regenerating the desertification with using properly herding animals and
Mm.
letting them do what they do naturally,
Yeah. Yeah.
eating the brush and then fertilizing the soil. So
Hmm.
um,
This the circle of life.
if we just all, yeah,
Yeah.
if we
Yeah.
all just lived on soy and corn like our poor animals do, it would not make the earth better. If you look at all the details of ecology, it would not make it better, even if we were all vegan. And we would be much less healthy, but the earth would be less healthy as well
Mm.
compared to what we could do if we supported the entire biosphere.
Right. And the entire ecosystem for sure. Yeah. Well, I forget what the documentary was, but it showed how they raise chickens and the cattle and it
Ah,
you would become a vegan instantly if you saw this
yes,
documentary.
yes.
So after seeing that, and they showed this one sick cow that had an open wound on its hip, I guess you would say. I'm not sure of its hindquarters. And that, they were feeding it with antibiotics and and then now when they make hamburger, they grind up, it might be 100 different cows in the hamburger, not just one. So now you're mixing 106 cows into one, pile of hamburger. It's just like, oh my goodness. So you really have to shop grass-fed, free range and you can taste the difference because I've
Oh,
bought free range beef from a local market here or like a pot roast from the grocery store. And I'll tell you the difference in the texture, the taste, everything. It's just night and day. So it's worth spending a little bit more for your health because, as we're talking about, in the long run, you are going to be so much better off.
yes, that's so
Yeah.
true. And so many people worry about organic food being more expensive, and often it's not. And the more we demand it, the more the price will go down because more farmers will want to do that
Yeah.
to grow properly. And it's so important for us to use our dollar to vote for
Yes.
healthy food.
Yes.
And also in my program, when I take my clients, teach them to not crave snacks. So if you're not eating all this refined food, you actually your budget will be less
Yeah,
for
and
your
your
food.
cravings will go down because they put ingredients in the food that make you crave more. So you eat
Yes,
more. It's all this vicious cycle. And then, you get
yeah,
sick. So here's a prescription
exactly.
medication because you have these symptoms. Oh, well, that gave you these symptoms, so we'll give you another medication. It's just this vicious cycle. And once you get on the wheel, it's hard to get off. But if you just start with healthy food, a good clear mind, get a good night's sleep. Dr. James B. Moss, he is the gentleman that created the 20-minute power nap. And he said that sleep was more important to longevity than diet, exercise, or even heredity. So
Right.
sleep is paramount. I guard my sleep. I get a good night's sleep. Don't try to wake me up at 12:30 in the morning. I'm getting my rest and getting my sleep in because I know how important that is. And then, I'm good throughout the day. My husband is a napper. Once I'm up, I'm up. I'm going, 90 miles an hour all day
Me
long.
too.
But he'll get up very early and then go take a nap. So I'm like, well, why don't you just sleep and then you can get through the day? I don't get it. But that's just that's just how he goes. So, but sleep is very, very important. And it's difficult to sleep though if you're stressed. So it just
Right.
goes hand in hand. So
And
how
and
I know that
you
you
eat.
have a wonderful gift for our audience. So tell us about that, Randy.
Well, sure. Yes, I'd love to talk to people and see what I can do to help them up level their current eating habits. And so I would love to offer them a free call with me and no obligation whatsoever. Just see if we can help you take the next step to improve your diet.
Yeah, and learn more about her book as well, The Single Ingredient Diet. I'm gonna have to get that myself because my curiosity is definitely piqued there. And that it can be done in 21 days, so I love that too. That's less than a month because it's what, 21 days to create a good habit, right?
Yes,
Create a new
exactly.
pathway in your brain.
Yes. And so much of it is just getting rid of all the bad information that's coming through
Yes.
and believing in your own body. It will tell you the truth if you feed it well,
Yes.
and that you
And our
are
bodies are made to
meant to be
heal it
healthy.
themselves. So if
I'm
you give
sorry,
them the
what?
right, I said our bodies are made to heal themselves. So if you give it the right help, the right nutrition, you can recover. I mean, I've met people that have come back from all sorts of illnesses and diseases, and simply through good nutrition, they've regained their health, gotten their peace of mind back, gotten their health back, and they're
Right,
living vibrant lives. Yes.
right.
Yes. So,
Good.
everyone that's listening, I really encourage you to get in touch with Randy. You can tell she's a wonderful human being, besides being fabulous and extremely intelligent when it comes to all things health and law, I might add. So you can go to thefinanciallion.com/gift, thefinanciallion, LYON.com/gift, and take advantage of Randy's free Zoom session. I really encourage you to get on her calendar and to talk to her. You're just going to enjoy her immensely. And as I always say, life doesn't come with a remote control. You have to get up and change it yourself. And there is no time like today to do exactly that. So I encourage you to get on Randy's calendar. And Randy, thank you so much for being here.
Thank you. You're such a gift to the world, Wendy. Thank you.
Oh, well, thank you. Speaking to the microphone. No, I'm just kidding. So, thank you all for being with us. And until next time, be safe and know that you are loved. See you next time. Okay.